guess we can get started with this then. Yeah. Oh god, this thing actually doesn't go very quick. Is this the one? No, it's not. Where is it? I know there's a really good track for... I think it's this. Yeah, this is it. Now, where's my van? Well, for those who haven't realized it, hello and welcome. This is Christopher right here. And today we're going to be doing some racing in Wreakfest. There should be sound working properly in both ways. I have turned off the music because while there is some good music, this doesn't really have a good Simus player. This is more this track with the vans is a lot more fun because this is a very tight track, so it's actually pretty fun to try to find ways to get around. So bigger vehicles is more fun in this, and the van is the biggest upgradable vehicle, so automatically the van is better. The van isn't good on everything, but there are some things that is fun with it. Among them, this track and racing. I'm not doing the campaign because the campaign is kind of got well, it got hard quick. It has a difficulty spike like Dark Souls, except Dark Souls isn't a difficulty spike. It's hard from the start. This game has a difficulty spike that puts it up there with Dark Souls difficulty on occasion. I thought I'd turned off the music. Oh well, hopefully it won't distract too much. Yep, we're doing that. Because we have a 5840 gravel, slightly softer. Well, if for nothing else but to combat the gravel, and I really don't like being in the middle of the pack at that point. Yep, this is next car game, everyone. Who remembers that thing? Oh dear. Quick respawn and out of there. And yeah, the AI do weird stuff on this map, especially in the van. Great, front left wheel is damaged. Well, considering how this thing looks, oh dear. And I forgot that that turns in there. We're just gonna do a few races on different maps and see how things go. It'll also make me some money. I have done mods in order to get all the vehicles, but I have since then turned off the mods. So I'm leveling up as usual. I could always reset and restart, but that would require me to actually play the campaign afterwards. Oh dear. And yes, I have a giant hot dog on my back. So yeah, as you can have probably realized, I do a bit of everything when it comes to games and what I play on my videos. But it's still open to, you know, um, comment, etc. on the RCT video with suggestions for the park. I would really love to see some park suggestions by, well, at latest Thursday, let's say, next week. Otherwise, I'm just gonna build something. And here's another thing, every car crumples differently to the next, so no two cars really crumples the same way. Even if it's the same car, they all kind of get destroyed differently, so it's basically a skeleton with a fluid skin. It sounds like the gearbox isn't too happy, or at least not the flywheel. Something is grinding. It might be one of the brakes discs as well that snapped. I'm happy with this race if I just survive it, because you take so much damage from these things. Even with, you know, the upgraded armor parts, you take a lot of damage from a baseline van. It's insane. And if you haven't played this yet, you should, because this has some really killer tunes that we, just for copyright, etc., I have turned off. And I'm not gonna try to name anything because I haven't really I haven't actually I haven't memorized that many songs. I know there's a song called War, but I don't recall who it's by, so try searching War music, but I don't think you're gonna find it that way. And the reason I'm recording this today at this point in time, which is like 8 in the evening here in Sweden, is because I want to make sure everybody has something to watch on my channel, and The Forest isn't for kids. The Forest being a survival horror game, I'm kinda stuck having to try to... Okay, he was stuck in the ground. I kinda have to make something for kids below 16 to watch. And what better way than a game that is basically a complete destruction derby. Because at least there's no blood, it's just carnage. And I believe this game is basically E for everyone, so go ahead, get it. It's a little tricky to drive, but especially if you go into this game thinking that you're gonna drive wheel and pedals and just kind of own at it, you won't. I started playing this game with controller because that was what I had at the time, and when I then tried to go with wheel and pedals, I couldn't actually drive. Because compared to actual, like, race drivers, I don't have the muscle memory to be able to drive skillfully and speedily with a controller or with a wheel and pedal setup at this point. So the biggest problem I get with that is that I don't have the same force feedback that someone driving with wheel and pedal does. Oh, I'm up to first. Oh, shoot. But yeah, also remember to watch... Oh, that was 10 laps. Okay. Made it. Oh, there was 2 of us left. But yeah, as I was saying, RCT 3 complete on Thursday, suggestions in at the latest. And parental guidance for the forest later this evening. The forest is also multiplayer, me and some friends. See, let's do... Should we do the Bel Air? Maybe the Corvette. I haven't actually upgraded that. This is a Javelin, I believe it's based on. So ugly though. I mean, it's funny for what it is. Yeah, this is based on the GMC Javelin. Rebel Rat. War wagon. This is a Oldsmobile wagon, I believe. Yeah, I think this is the Oldsmobile wagon, because there's a Volvo wagon. Here's the Volvo wagon. This is the 240, 740, 840, 940. That entire family. Ooh, we could go with this. This, I believe, is a BMW? Maybe? No, we have a gravel event. We want something a little sturdier. Oh, let's go with the great... You know what? Fuck it, let's go with the gate crasher. Haven't upgraded it, but this is basically the missing link out of the roadkill. Let's just say they can be mixed. Let's at least make an A-class. The good thing about playing just random races is nothing is locked, except for the special vehicles. Nothing really is locked behind the campaign. Stuff like the couch car, the big rig, and the lawnmower are locked behind the campaign, but everything else is just locked behind normal progression. So you literally just drive and level up. on everything you do, whether you win, lose, every bit of driving you do levels you up. Now this is a 60-35, so I'm gonna make this on the softer side and lock the differential. This is what can happen when you don't have an upgrade on the car. You basically get put in the wall and then you're gone. I need some better tires on this. While it says cosmetic, different tires actually do a little bit affect the handling of the car on different surfaces. So for this track, for example, I wouldn't use these particular tires. I would use something with a little more aggressive of a tread. And for tarmac, pure tarmac tracks, I would use something with far slicker treads. Or very much like these. Oh dear. Yes, this thing has a V8. It's insane that some cars can be so damaged but still have like 100% of their health. I don't understand that. It's like sometimes you can roll the car and make it be completely mangled, but you have all your health left. So like it can look like mine does, but have no damage. It happens on occasion. I think it's a bug, but I'm not sure. Someone's dead on the side. Okay, let's take the other drop as well. There's not much difference in terms of it, it's just the drop is earlier in the other than in one than the other. Or like that, for example, I didn't take any structural damage according to the game, but I did damage my front brakes and my front suspension. It does weird things sometimes. And I have never found myself losing a wheel. At all in a race. Now I took some more damage because I have nothing left to protect my engine. And as they have said in their trailers, and in every interview they've done, you can win by being the fastest around the course, or you can win by being the last man or woman standing. I don't think I'm gonna win this. But I sure as heck can try to make it entertaining. Turn, darn it. Ooh dear. I'm surprised this thing still drives as well as it does. Technically my engine is on fire. Okay, my gearbox is basically gone. Oh, he was that far after us. Or in front of us. Doesn't turn, doesn't turn, doesn't turn. Okay. 13 died. Well, 24 to 13 didn't finish. Okay, so this thing is actually pretty quick. I gotta do something to upgrade the armor on it though. So let's go deal with that. Upgrades. Armor. Bumper. We have a couple of free ones that came with the DLC I purchased. Yeah, I think we're doing the combat crusher. Shall we do that for the back? Yeah, sure, why not? Roof bar, 150 kilos. Roof cage, 150 kilos. It does the same strength, but one is free, so we're taking the free one. Sure, combat bars. And then we can do, that is 7.7. This is also 7.7, so let's do the Avengers bars because they look cooler. Now wheels. This one have, well, they do have the Outlaws, but we also have the Racer and Crasher wheels, which are basically just different. They allow you to get different rims essentially, so there's a bunch of them too. So you have the Racer version and the Crasher version of the same thing, so there's two of each rim thanks to DLC. So one has the stock tire, and the other has a, well, the racer has a semi-slick or a sportier tire, while the crasher rims have, the stock tires, and then it's just painted on them differently. So you can have a lowrider, for example, and yes, you switch by pair, so you can completely go with a racing front and a crasher rear if you wished. This is a racer, crasher, racer, crasher, and racer, or outlaw. So I'm gonna go with the outlaws because they're the slightly more aggressive threads I was talking about earlier. Exhausts. Well, we have a few. We have, well, these essentially Shokato exhausts. We have side pipes sticking straight up, upright side headers. We have the upright side stacks, which is just one pipe from each. We have the stock exhaust, which goes out, I don't actually know where this thing exits, somewhere underneath there. We have the side headers. Let's see, yeah, it goes right over the rear axle, the stock exhaust. Then you have the side headers, we have the side pipes, and we have the hood pipes. I'm gonna go for the side pipes because they look cooler. Some would go for the side headers, but I don't really like the look of that. Then there's the hood, so you have a small scoop, you have the holes for the header, and you have a multi-cut lighter racer hood. I kinda like this hood better, so we're going with the Ram. Then there's the spoilers, so you have Racing Wing, which looks hideous on this car. You have a crasher spoiler, well, two crasher spoilers and a racer spoiler, so let's put that on. And we have the full-on race bumper. We have a small splitter, and we have a crasher splitter. I would just go with this because bigger. Crasher and crasher. I don't know why you'd want to do this, because this actually makes your car weaker in those events. It's actually better to just keep when you only have the cut fenders like this as a choice, it's better to keep the stock fenders because it's more structurally sound. We have different grills. We have partial mesh, full mesh, or vertical bars. I think we're going with that. We have racer side skirts. We have crasher side skirts. I don't know if these actually help any. But then we also have the racing flares. So we have small flares, racing flares, and we have large flares, which looks asinine on any car, really. These ones, there are two bulbos and you can't really move the wheels out, so I'm gonna go with the racing flares because that's what this is at the end of the day. It's a racer. And we could put the cow skull on the front or the Wreckham sign on the, obviously it's gonna be the skull. Let's go. Okay, it comes with the race engine. Let's put racing. We have very limited funds. Let's put the street parts on it. It gives us a bit more power, but it doesn't overdo the upgrades. And while we're here, because I obviously haven't painted it, let's see, style 2. Oh, we're definitely doing the Derby 2 style. Kind of pinstripes. Ugh. Kind of like the look of that. Let's do that. And that. Yeah. Okay. Now let's go do our race. Let's do it here. Ball Falls. Let's do the main circuit in this. A-class cars. Yes, I'm driving with automatics because I can't do shifter in this game. Well, you can do shifter, but I can't drive shifter. I have put it so up and down is on the paddles on the wheel, but I'm not much for driving on the wheel in this game. Maybe sometime I will figure it out again. Because I tried driving with a stick, but that didn't go well. And as I said, there's some really good tunes in this game. 72% gravel, 28% tarmac, so it's actually less tarmac. I'm going to make slightly biased to the rear with the brakes because I'm getting tired of this thing not swinging as I want. Well hung drywall. Now then that I have actually upgraded this thing a bit, we should be able to do a lot more damage than they can. Because we basically have a ram in the front. And we have better protection on the sides. We've already lost our wing though. On some tracks you can jump back over the railing because it's literally just there to hold dirt. That's lap 1. And like you can build every car differently, so every time you might not build a very armored car, you might just put the basic armor on it so it survives a race. The next time you build the same car, you might make it a demolition expert thing. Ah, shite. I actually got stuck there. I don't think it would have moved even if I wanted it to. It was basically hung up on the... Wow, the front is mangled. It was basically hung up on the rear bumper. And yeah, as you have seen, as you hit other cars at a certain speed or in a certain way, you get different skills pointed out. For example, the last one I did was a spin out. It means I turned him around 180 essentially. Then you have slams, shunts, T-bones, etc. You have rear ender, head-ons. All of that gives experience to a point. Well, all of it always gives experience, but the more violent a crash is, the more experience you get. Especially in demo derby now. Oh, this is bad. Oh great, my brakes are shot. But the best paying things that you can get are demolitions. They give like 200 or something experience. And in this game there are no yellow flags, there are no red flags, there are no black flags. You drive until your car is dead or until you have finished the laps. In my case, it might be the prior rather than the former rather than the latter. At least for this race. There's a dead car. Ow. When you get the crash outs, by the way, you basically make them completely stop. Oh, I got a wrecking assist for that. Oh no, the wrecking assist. Ah dear. Ow. Well, at least I lived. surviving gives you a little bit more money than actually, not finishing. There's many tracks, many different tracks. Here, for example, we have a complete tarmac track, which makes you want to take something like this. The Venom, which is a Corvette and completely a streetcar. This is more of a demo track as far as the street circuit goes than many of the other tracks, because this has so many tight corners that it's not really that fun to be stuck on the outside of a big fast moving thing without brakes. So yeah. And I haven't driven this track in a while, so it's gonna be a bit of loading. But this is 100% tarmac. I want a stiffer suspension on this with an open gearbox, and I will leave or an open differential and not leave the gearbox because I don't like futzing with it. I should also mention that this is a great way to learn to drive different cars at different speeds and at different horsepower. And I hit the runoff. Crikey. This also, I should mention, is one of the fastest cars in the game, so maybe invest in brakes. If there were brakes in this game to invest in, could be worth it. I think they should go for some tire upgrades, because this isn't gonna end well. Yeah, for one of the fastest cars, it's not very controllable. So I think this will have to do for our play on this, because we've been going for about 45 minutes. So until next time, remember to like, comment and subscribe, and do share it if you feel somebody would enjoy watching this. Have a good one, everyone.